All right.
Ready?
Yes, sorry.
Yeah.
Okay, hi, hello, welcome. Let's do roll call.
All right. Tamara Wilson,
Here.
James Harrison,
Here.
Mark Vila,
Here.
Ken Whitco,
Here.
Ray Dotson is out sick, and Teresa King,
Here.
Julius Brown,
Here.
and Chris Alston, sorry. Thank you, Teresa here. We have Fire Chief Mike Dobbs, no, sorry, and then we have Councilmember Tristan Marcelo here. I'm not sure, like, so Assistant Chief Unford was supposed to be here, but he's getting called out for the IMT.
Yep, I am too.
For North Carolina possibly, so he's having to prep for that instead. So at least for the presentation portion, I know Nathan is
Yep,
stepping
you
in.
get
for-
stuck with me.
Perfect, thank you. And I think, is Chief Sharp not?
He should be on his way on.
Okay.
Text. Yes.
And there was an email in my box yesterday for youth council, but I did not get to that, so I will have them lined up for next
Okay.
meeting.
Okay. Hi, Chief.
How you doing?
Good, how are you?
All right.
And then, is there a motion to approve the minutes from last meeting?
We have two sets of minutes to approve, right?
Yes.
April 3rd, and because we did the wrong ones. And then the ones from August 7th, the last one.
That sounds awful. Can I put them both in here?
I think,
It looks
I
like they
think-
all,
Yeah,
oh,
April
they all
3rd.
blended together online. Sorry, yes, yes, that is accurate.
so I make a motion that we approve the minutes of April 3rd, 2024, and I got a question on
Okay, is there a second for April 3rd?
Second.
All right, and then for the meeting? minutes?
Our minutes approved.
For April 3rd.
We have to do, are all,
All in
it.
favor?
for April?
Did we,
For April or for August?
April 3rd,
You have a question on that one, but
Yeah.
you motion to approve.
we haven't made a motion, we had motion to approve, but then I have a question on before we vote.
Okay.
Okay.
Did we get a hold of Karen Gilbert to talk about the fair program?
She was supposed to be here, she was here, but nobody was here for the meeting.
Oh,
The one that I accidentally did minutes on, but we weren't at quorum because nobody was here. She was at that meeting. Good. So no, I have not rescheduled her because she came and there was nobody here for her to give a presentation.
okay,
Okay, so
all right. Other thing,
that is a reschedule.
did we ever get the status on the dashboard? We mentioned it at our joint meeting, but I don't think we ever got a question on, are they putting it up? Is it going away or?
That would be a question that you would want to ask.
What was the question?
But does
The
it,
city dashboard, is that back up? Is it going away?
I'm not sure.
okay, but is that regarding the April minutes?
Yeah, it was April. That was a question that came up
Right.
that we were, so
Okay, but we don't,
I guess that should go on past business.
correct. So are we,
That's all I have.
okay, so now we can make the motion to approve?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, I make a motion to approve the April 3rd minutes.
I, sorry, he made the motion. We're out of order. He made the motion, somebody
Just need
seconded
to
it, so
vote.
now you can ask for voting. So
Okay,
ayes for the minutes, approving minutes.
okay, all in favor?
Thank you.
Aye.
I,
Any opposed? And
Okay,
then
now,
now, is there a motion to approve the minutes for August 7th?
I move that we approve the minutes for August 7th, and I also have a question.
what's the question? What question?
Do you have a second?
Well, I think we have to do the question first.
All right, I just didn't want this to fall through the cracks.
No,
You said you were gonna get a hold of somebody to get brochures and tables and stuff for the tractor. pull.
That's for, that, we'll go over that under the agenda.
Okay,
This is
okay.
just about the minutes and whether they're good as they're written.
Well, I know it just said that you were gonna check, so I just wanted to
Right.
make sure that,
I put final So I put it on the agenda, so we won't forget.
All right. That's it.
So now we have a motion?
Is there a second?
Second.
Is all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That's
Can we, Steve Sharp had a conflict last month, so he won't be able to make it, so we can do a state district. Yeah.
okay. Do we have any public comments?
No.
Can I just make one? I'm currently participating in the CERT program, which has been a really fantastic experience, especially piggybacking off of the Lakewood Police Citizens Academy. And so for any committee members that has not participated in the Lakewood Police Citizens Academy, it's very, very informative, and it is a great experience, as well as the CERT program that West Pierce Fire puts on. That is an amazing program to participate, and you get to learn, you know, how to help be a support for your family, your community. And so I highly recommend anybody that has not participated in either one of those programs to look into that for next year. Okay, perfect. Thank you. We have a guest speaker, but I don't see Chris here.
He is unfortunately homesick, so he did let me know that he was not going to, so we'll have to move that to December as well.
Okay. That's it.
Yeah.
City council.
Just a few updates. I wasn't here for the last meeting, but I was here for the April one. The thin crowd, as mentioned, but it was good to hear the presentation from the West Pierce Sheriff representative. Just a few updates. On Monday, we went through our legislative agenda for what we're going to approach our state, federal, and county partners with in terms of our priorities for the city. And a lot of it is a continuation of what we had before in terms of safety, encouraging them to pass laws, allowing our Lakewood PD officers to talk to juvenile offenders with parental consent, as it is now. As I understand it, that's not allowed. So we're trying to get that pushed through. We are planning to maintain the staffing budget for our police officers. City Council looking forward to Truck and Tractor Day coming up in 10 days. We also talked about partnering with the Pierce County library system on potentially building an urban park on the old library site while it's waiting for a new permanent library to go there. We don't want to see it sit for 10 years with a fence around it and not be used. So it'd be great to find a way to utilize it for the community, especially as close as it is to the park. So the kids have somewhere that they can go after hours to be in a park and have activities. Other local or other recent news, we voted to develop one of the street ends on Lake Steilacoom on the west side of the lake. That'll be moving forward in 2025. The interlocking bridge reopened at the end of September, and the construction on Hipkins completed as well. Looking forward, upcoming transportation projects include Steilacoom Boulevard from Fort Steilacoom Park down to Weller Road. So that's from the park to towards the east. South Tacoma Way at the north end of the city is going to be developed as well. And then Nyanza Road is going to see significant construction next year to put in sidewalks. Any questions? And I will follow up with the city manager and our communications department on the dashboard to find out what's going on. Thank you.
West Pierce. Any comments, updates?
We will move Chief Sharp to December 3rd.
Sure. I'm trying to think back since I was in last year, so months ago, we've had a few fires, not anything terribly substantial. The best part of our fire response, I can always say, is Red Cross in the city of Lakewood. We also honored Pierce Transit and I believe
Little church on the prairie.
Little Church on the Prairie. We had, Hidden Lake Apartments with a lot of people displaced. They were phenomenal. They came out, assisted us, got a shelter, up and running. Church Transit provided a bus, transportation, everything. Supervisor, one of their supervisors took somebody, transport them to a restroom in the middle of it. We were out there for hours. It was very unfortunate, but it's always good to see the community come together and support people. And that's the good part of those bad situations.
Yes, thank you. Lakewood Police comments? I know I'm Fred's not
Right.
here, but, okay.
Were you wanting to share the space or are you just observing?
I can if you'd like. It's up to you.
He did not have time to get himself a replacement.
Okay,
So, other than Nathan for the presentation.
I'll just go over the most recent crime trends that we have. Right now, the city is doing pretty good. We have overall crime reduction of 28%. Our robberies are down 32%. Motor vehicle theft down 67%. Larceny is 33.2%. Burglaries are down 20%. Our crimes against person is down 11%. Homicides down 40%. Our ag assaults are down 7.4%. And our sex crimes are down 44%. The only area we show up is in our forcible sex crimes, which is up 26%. But overall, every area of crime is showing down. The Lakewood Police Department was selected amongst several departments, amongst 5 departments in the U.S. for the IACP this year. They'll be doing a profile of our department next year and a couple of the things that we're doing and a couple of programs that we started, such as our flock system and as well as our retail theft emphasis. They'll be doing a video on the department, how we operate and some of the things that we've done to reduce crime in the city of Lakewood. Will be shown throughout IACP and distributed to the IC over 1 million members. This will start next week, and we should also have a copy of that video. Next week, on the 9th, we'll be going before the city council to talk about our upcoming budget year covering 25 and 26. And I'll just put a plug for the councilman that's here. We could use any help that you possibly can to continue to reduce crime in the city of Lakewood and make it great for the citizens of Lakewood. That's all I have. Thanks so much.
Thank you. No youth council this time. Unfinished business. We had our city council meeting last month, I believe it was. Yeah, and I think it went really, really well, and for everyone that showed up in support, thank you so much. I think we are gonna wait as far as the survey goes for feedback from the city before we continue putting that together and out to the public. And then I think they were very open to the idea of more eyes on the Public Safety Advisory Committee, being more transparent and available. They like the idea of us maybe next year thinking about showing up at farmers markets. Maybe not everyone, not every single farmers market, because I understand that's a huge commitment. But I think they were pretty delighted to hear that we have the idea of showing up to those and holding a booth there. And I'm very, very impressed with what Joanne put together. I want to pass this around, but this is the flyer that we talked about at the previous meeting that kind of highlights what the Public Safety Advisory Committee is, how to apply. And so that's just like one piece of information that we can have at the farmers market. I know they were also, inquiring on like, well, what other pieces of information could we have displayed for the community? And, we have different evacuation levels. Joanna provided me a great box of supplies that we can put out on the table. I also have some, information, because I do have a farmer's market, or I do show up to the Silicon Farmers Market for the Silicon Public Safety Advisory Committee, so I've gotten information from the town there. And, you know, like how to prepare in a year for disasters, or, how to make, you know, go bags, or like, what was it, why am I drawing a blank? What is it?
Look at them.
I don't know, why am I drawing preparedness?
Evacuation levels.
Yes, but then like to make a kid at home, like the 2 weeks, be prepared for 2 weeks in the event of an emergency, there's kind of like a checklist that was given that can be put out, as well as a checklist for your pets. So I think we'll have a whole table of information to be shared at the truck and tractor day, as well as going into farmer's market, if that's something that we decide to do. From experience, I would say though, it will take a commitment from people on the committee, because, you know, it is a volunteer and it shouldn't be on just one person. Like if we signed up, whether it was in hour increments, then it's not so much to take on. So food for thought as we move to 2025's work plan, and we think about what it is that we want to do, just food for thought on doing farmers markets and how we want to sign up and make that a success.
I want to plug that, at least half of that came from West First Fire and Rescue.
There we
And
go.
I don't even know what all was in there because they packed it full, but some of that may also be in that.
Okay.
There's a lot of stuff in there. So thank
I
you.
believe it's probably Rachel.
It was Rachel.
Rachel, yeah,
Yeah.
she's great at that stuff,
You dropped it off during one of your trainings.
wonderful.
I had a comment too on that. So in addition to reaching out to farmers markets, if there's availability of folks attending the neighborhood association meetings as well, so like Lake City, Tillicum, they still meet regularly. And having a representative there to share the same information with that group would be a good way to get out into the community. And I think they meet once a month.
We have that list. We've been keeping that list, but so many didn't work. And I know, I think, Chris was gonna speak to that. So hopefully they'll be able to kind of pass.
Yeah.
Fill us in more. Yeah.
And then I think we did touch on for unfinished business, the business public safety survey, that's on hold for a little bit until there's more information to come. And then, the truck and tractor day final preparations. I think you guys can maybe do a couple of hours with me.
But I can't do it.
Okay.
Those are-
There's an opening, so that had to let the other members know that maybe it's a big, my granddaughter's having a shower that day, and I'll get my wife there, so.
Yeah, the sign up sheet is in that packet as well for everybody. Mine's back double sided, so it's that right after the minutes. There it is.
Okay,
So,
yeah.
You guys wanted to look at that and see if one of those shifts worked for you.
Yeah, Julius and Chris, I don't remember if we talked about it when you were at the last meeting, but
We did.
Oh, we
set it
did,
up for the
okay.
ones that are-
Yes, we did.
thank you. So, yeah, it looks like we do have the shifts covered, and so thank you, everybody, for participating and showing up to that event with me. Let's see. As far as new business, ooh, the exciting stuff. It looks like it's time for elections.
And we are missing a co-chair right now. So I'm really would love to fill that slot.
Anybody want to throw their name into the hat? For chair, for the chair position or the co-chair position? Looking out the room together. Everybody in the eye, not just
I
you.
think I saw a hand up, right?
Oh,
Do we want to let's just pick one and start with that one? That's our plan.
Julius and Chris, do either one of you have any, interest?
Nominations?
None on my end.
Nope, I'm good. Appreciate you.
All right, any interest on the floor?
Anybody, okay, let's start with co-chair. Does anybody have any nominations for a co-chair? This is so much fun.
I'll do it.
And that's why I was looking that way.
It was me last
Felt
time,
it, I was like,
so I was peer pressured.
Good caveat, if somebody else remains as chair, you would be co-chair.
I think, yeah, no,
Yes,
I said
absolutely.
co-chair.
Yeah.
Yeah, I started with
Yeah.
co-chair.
Yeah, but Mark's
Yeah.
saying to put a caveat on it that somebody else has to remain the chair.
Yeah,
Oh.
I will not, that,
Oh, wait.
that happened to me.
Hey, anybody want to try this here? Try a new position? Anyone?
Oh, Mark and James, have been- I've been there, you've been there, I've been there. 2 years. James has been- Yes.
Okay. I feel like I'm finally getting a little stability under me, because you guys have been amazing support. So if I don't have a volunteer, I'll do this again, but then I'm gonna put a lot of pressure on you guys next year.
You've done an excellent job, by the way.
Okay, you may have to correct me, but I do believe we still have to vote. You guys have both put your names out there, but don't we have to vote, or is it actually volunteers? I was like, or do we just let them go? You are free. Okay, so we need to start, let's start with
Okay.
co-chair and ask for votes.
Okay, is there a motion to approve Teresa to be co-chair?
Yes, I so moved.
Second.
Okay. Is all in favor? Okay.
Aye.
Thank you. Any opposed? No? Okay. All right, is there a motion to approve Camry as chair?
I so moved.
Okay, is there a second? Thank you. Yeah, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Obviously enthusiastic.
Perfect.
All right, and then a preview of the next meeting.
Let me ask one question about, for the truck and tractor day.
Yeah.
I always thought when I joined this group, that one of the purposes was to grab someone from all the different community organizations and make them a little more active, or at least bring them into the group, so they can bring some of their issues with them, and then you've got a group of informed people from across the city that would help put it all together. So that's gonna be my focus at Truck and Tractor Day, to find those people that live in these different communities and ask them to step up to do some of this. So that's just a comment I want to throw out. I don't think about it.
Good idea. Maybe we can find somebody that'll get North, Lakewood going again.
And it's important to have someone from the specific segment that knows what's going on and has a real interest in it, so that we can get some real work done for the city, more work, or what we're interested in here. We want to come up with some more interesting topics, but they take a while to develop, like the, what's that, Boulder Creek?
Oh, the
Boulder
Clover Creek
Road
House.
crossing, yeah. That's 4 years in the works and still not gonna be approved till 28, but there's something that's important. And there are a lot of important things that can be done around here and need some attention, so if we get the people to come in and talk about it, they can understand how the wheels work, how they roll, anyway. We can become loud advocates for what needs to be done.
Well, that's a fine example, because it was somebody who was just a citizen that came in and talked to us and said, hey, there's a problem. We didn't know that problem existed.
Well, big pictures,
We did some of that a few years ago. In fact, we still have a business. That was, fine.
Todd and Dean is no longer on the board.
So it'd be nice if we could get those guys replaced, and ask, maybe even ask Todd if he could recommend somebody to fill them. Yeah.
So that was just my thought for it.
And maybe that's something that you guys can, dive into more in December when Chris Davis comes to give an update on what he's been able to accomplish in a couple months.
Yeah,
Maybe they'll move forward with that more.
yeah.
Speaking of that, I think that's my cue. We're at the preview. So it looks like next month, nope, December, next meeting, we will hopefully have Chris Davis, and he won't be sick and we'll be able to do that portion. And then hopefully, Chief Sharp will be able to join us for, we skipped right over you. Look at me looking at this. We just moved right in, didn't even give Nathan a chance to talk.
That's
So
okay.
we're gonna-
We were gonna circle
Yeah.
back.
Perfect, sorry. So, but we'll move those two to December. And I think other than that, December will strictly be on work plan focus. So keep that in mind. Come with ideas. And then I apologize. I'll take it from here. That's my fault. Because John was supposed to do it, so I had him.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
That's what.
Do you have his?
I do.
PowerPoint?
Let me pull that up.
Okay, so this is the presentation on hazard mitigation.
Yes.
Nice, thank you.
Well, afternoon, while we wait for that to get pulled up. Nathan Johnson, I'm an Emergency Management Coordinator with the West Coast Emergency Management Coalition. We cover the cities of Lakewood, City of University Place, and the town of Steilacoom, and help support everything emergency management related. Here tonight, stepping in for Chief Fred to kind of talk about the hazard mitigation plan, and the process that we're gonna see over this next year. Right, next slide.
Yes, there we go. Oh, yeah.
Perfect.
Sorry.
So the hazard mitigation plan is one of the many plans that we have in what we call the family of plans. And that's just a term we use in emergency management because we have a whole binder full of different plans. And they all lead to and stem into our comprehensive emergency management plan, also known as the CEMP. We have one CEMP for the entire coalition, and all three jurisdictions are kind of encompassed in that. But then cities have their own specific plans as well. So they may have their own individual continuity of operations plan that's very specific to that organization. What we're going to be talking about today is the hazard mitigation plan. And next slide, please. Really, this plan is how the city looks at the identified hazards and what steps the city takes to mitigate the impact on residents. There's actual federal regulation on this that each jurisdiction, municipality has to have a hazard mitigation plan in place and approved by city council, and then also approved by the state in order to get any pre-disaster grant funding or even post-disaster recovery funding. So it's incredibly important that we take the time to dive into this and continually update it and utilize it in our planning efforts. Really, the overarching plan, like I mentioned, is it represents the jurisdiction's commitment to identify those hazards that are in that specific community and what steps we take to mitigate the impact. The nice thing is Pierce County Department of Emergency Management really takes the lead on most of this. They do an overall Pierce County plan that incorporates different annexes from each jurisdiction. So Lakewood has its own annex, and that's kind of what we're talking about right now. Lakewood's annex is over 200 pages long as it sits right now. Every 5 years, this plan gets reviewed, goes up in front of, or it allows for public comment into it. It goes in front of city council to get approved, and then again through the state for approval as well. So every 5 years, we kind of go through this process. Next slide. There's 7 different sections of this plan, one of which kind of just, or the first one talks about really the overall process. It talks about how we put this plan out for public comment, how we make updates, how we identify things. It really sets the stage for the plan. Then we have what's called the profile. That takes a look at specifically what makes up the community. So what makes up Lakewood? It takes into account demographics, economics, a whole host of different variables into that. Section 3, we have a capability identification. This is done actually in other planning efforts where we look at different hazards within the community. We have what's called a THIRA, which is a threat and hazard identification. Risk A is something else. But basically, the whole process is to, again, identify what those specific disasters look like. And that ranges from natural disasters, so flooding, snow impacts, all the way to man-made disasters such as terrorist attacks, school shootings, cyber attack events. Then we go into our risk assessment where we take that information and build upon it. There's a mathematical equation that we are able to utilize, put things in, and it really comes up with a score that gives us that risk analysis of that specific threat. Then we have section 5, which is where we start talking about what mitigation strategies we put in place for those specific hazards. So we may have, just for example, thunderstorms as one of our high risk things for the community. And so we may list different things that the city starts taking action on to reduce that impact. Talk about infrastructure. So we also look at different critical infrastructure throughout the community, hospitals, utility companies, and again, the risk associated with those if something were to happen to those and what that would then result for the community. And then the whole maintenance plan or portion, which really talks about how we take this plan, review it on an annual basis, and keep it fresh and updated over the course of time. Next slide. So the process here, basically, we've talked about, we've conducted the HIVA. Some of these slides are older and reference plans before they were updated to the newer terminology. So HIVA is now really the THIRA. It's all the same plan, just different FEMA terminology. But basically, we're gonna go through, compile all this information to create and update the amendment for specifically the city of Lakewood. Each city's annex or amendment goes in front of the state emergency management and then through FEMA Region 10 for pre-approval. Once it's approved by FEMA, then the city's governing body approves it. So we'll put it in front of city council and explain the process, explain what we did and how it relates to the city of Lakewood. And then city or council will approve that. And then we start looking at what mitigation measures that we may have identified in that and start the implementation process over the next several years. And then we go through that cycle of life throughout that 5 years. And then, so right now we're really prepping for it to be approved in 2025. So we kind of start this process. So we get plenty of time to give it the attention that it needs. But it's a lengthy process, and again, constantly evolving. Next slide, please. So when I talk about the hazards, this is just an example from a plan that I believe these were pulled from a plan that was actually updated in 2010 ish. But we go through and we identify what the hazards are, and then we give it a little code. So for wildland urban interface, also known as WUI, flood is F, which rolls into our next slide.
Sorry?
No worries. No worries. So all these codes are then able to be plugged in. Again, this is an example of what we'll end up developing. This lets us know basically what existing mitigation actions exist, the planned maintenance, all these different things that we
anticipate doing over these next several years to reduce the impacts of those threats. And they're tied to specific things. So seismic review and retrofit of bridges, culverts, retaining walls within and through the city. And it has a few other codes, but F is one of them. So it's tied to our risk of flooding. Does that kind of make sense of how we identify a threat? We give it a little code or annotation, and then that's what we plug into these different mitigation factors that we will develop and then start working on over the course of time. Some of these are able to be accomplished in that 5 years. Some of them aren't. It all depends on funding, availability of resources and things like that. And a lot of these things may get rolled into year in and year out. But it's things that we constantly want to put work towards and strive to accomplish. Next slide, please. And next slide, that's just the same. Okay, so that was a quick high-level overview. Again, this was Chief Unfred's PowerPoint, so I'm just stepping in. But really, the synopsis of it is we have this plan that we need to be reviewing over this next year. Throughout that process, we'll put it out for we'll put it in a place for open public comment, such as PSAC meetings, such as city council meetings. We'll have information at things like farmers markets or community events. If there are any threats or even mitigation factors to any of the threats that you all may have, feel free to email myself or Chief Unfred, and we can ensure we tie that into this process as we continue building this out.
Are we gonna get a copy of this or something to use as a guide or something to look at? If we're gonna provide you any input or?
Yes, we can take a look at the last plan, which would have been approximately 5 years old, and send that out. It's a open public document, so we can make sure we get that in your hands.
Where is that available, other than you sending them? The public wants to do it.
So our goal is to have, in one of our last meetings, we talked about our West Pierce Emergency Management Coalition website. Our goal is to end up having our plans updated into that. I can't say for certain if this has been put on there yet or not, because that website's fairly new. But the goal is the public documents, and they can be distributed to the public. I'll definitely check on that. Oh, sorry.
You'll email me.
Yes, I will get you the plan. So once it goes through the public comment, again, it'll go through city council, it'll get approved, it'll go to state, it'll get approved, it'll go to FEMA, and then again, that really secures the city's ability to get FEMA dollars, post-disaster for mitigation projects, also, or pre-disaster for mitigation projects, and then post-disaster for response efforts. So it's a really critical document for us to look at. Any questions on that? Great. I'm sure there'll be more information to come on this. Chief Unfred and myself are always available for any questions, and we'll work on getting you the plan to review as well. Right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Reports from board members and staff. Anybody have anything?
Neighborhood association meetings attended.
No.
No?
That's really just going. So, let's try to take a look at that, and see if we can see that.
Anybody have any comments, open discussion for public safety committee?
Did we answer all of your questions that you have, Mark? I knew that's. Okay, I think we got to them. I just wanted to make sure in case.
All right, is there a motion to adjourn?
I move we adjourn.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Perfect, thank you.
Oh, thank you.
I have a question.
Yep. Yep.
This is Julius. Will that slideshow be posted in the minutes?
Not in the minutes, but I can certainly send it to everybody.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, let me make a note. Thank you.